Hi, I'm Paige Humble, and I'm the Chief Executive Officer for Lung Cancer Initiative. And I am so excited to be joined today with Dr. Neal Reddy. He serves on the Board of Directors for Lung Cancer Initiative, and he's also the chair of our Scientific Advisory Committee. And we're talking today because it's World Lung Cancer Day. This day has been observed every year on August 1st since 2012 to raise awareness of lung cancer issues and to magnify the need to further important lung cancer research. So I want to start there, Dr. Reddy. Why is it so important that we are raising awareness about lung cancer and really advocating for lung cancer research right now?
Well, that's a great question, and there are lots of reasons. So one is to draw attention to the disease, create a sense of community, and provide overall support for patients and their families. A second is to rally people around advocacy around lung cancer. If you have a large group that is strongly advocating for support, then that will get everyone's attention, whether it's foundational support, societal support, government support. And when you have all of that together, it creates an environment where you can make much more rapid progress.
So in the mid 2000s, when we formed as an organization, there were not many lung cancer patient advocacy organizations. And it's so exciting to see that there are so many that are coming on now. And we still have so much more to do together, but it's great that there's a network of support and there's so many advocacy organizations. And we've really seen that change through the years. And likewise, there have been so many medical advancements and so much more done in the research space more recently in lung cancer. I'm curious, how have you seen the field of lung cancer change through the years, since you have been in your career?
So I've been doing lung cancer research long enough that I've seen an awful lot of changes. If we go back 25 years, there were a dedicated group of people that were working on supporting lung cancer patients and their families and advocating and working on the research, but it was a relatively small number. And there was still a stigmatization so that there wasn't as much social support, and people and their families may have felt reluctant to come forward and be really public about their disease and the challenges around the disease. And then secondly, our treatments were not as effective as they needed to be. We had the mainstays of surgery for early stage lung cancer, but for more advanced lung cancer, all we had was chemotherapy, which helped people. But generally, when we were giving chemotherapy and whatnot for advanced lung cancer, on average, people did not live very long. With the more effective treatments that have come through research, people are living longer and longer. The science itself has been moving forward rapidly. So the advances in genetics and molecular biology, coupled with advances in computational science, having computers that can store and analyze vast amounts of genetic information to get to answers in a reasonable amount of time, have moved us forward from the chemotherapy days to identify multiple molecular targets in certain types of lung cancer, particularly adenocarcinoma of the lung. And over the last 20 years, we've identified multiple targets for effective oral and molecular therapy so that patients are living longer and living better. Some fundamental discoveries by various scientists around the world, a couple of whom won the Nobel Prize for their work in identifying and characterizing a couple of important targets, CTLA4 and PD1, have led to groundbreaking research where we've been able to take the brakes off the immune system so that our body's own immune system can attack the cancer. So for these, all sorts of different essentially every type of lung cancer, non-small cell lung cancer, squamous cell lung cancer, small cell lung cancer, at this point, essentially all cancers of the lung have the potential to respond to immune therapy. So that both for molecular therapy, immune therapy, we're getting more and more survivors, more and more people living a long time with a good quality of life. We're not where we need to be. We're not giving prolonged high quality survival to everyone by any means. But almost always, we can offer people hope. And with the research at the molecular level, we're picking off more and more lung cancers that are driven by specific types of mutations that make the cancer vulnerable to certain types of medicines. The most recent one has been lung cancer driven by something called KRAS, K-R-A-S. For decades, it's just been a tough nut to crack, where we weren't able, as a field, we weren't able to find molecular therapies that could block the KRAS and effectively treat the cancer. But over the last 5 years or so, a number of different therapies have come forward that are starting to work against the KRAS lung cancers. And KRAS lung cancers are the most common molecularly identifiable forms of lung cancer. So we're starting to make progress in that area. So that's been really exciting. We've been adding on more and more subcategories of lung cancer that we have effective molecular therapy for. And we're finding more and more ways to identify the vulnerabilities of the cancer that allow us to target it with immune therapies. So all of those things coming together are every year adding to our ability to improve outcomes.
That's exciting. And you may have already touched on this, so it's okay if there's nothing new, but another question I wanted to ask, is there anything from this year, any advancements that were shared at ASCO or anything that you're seeing that's coming online that's very new and exciting to you this year?
Well, I think a lot of the progress in the last, in recent years has been in early stage lung cancer. One is screening. Our big challenge now is making the CT scanning available to more and more people, because it's hard. It's been hard to implement and get uptake to get CT scanning for appropriate individuals out into the community. So that's been a big challenge, but it's also been a big breakthrough. Also along the lines of early stage lung cancer is that we've found out that after people have surgery for these molecularly defined lung cancers like the EGFR, the ALK, if they have resection of, say, a stage 2 or a stage 3 lung cancer, we now know, based on large randomized phase 3 trials, that those patients will do better if they receive oral targeted therapy after surgery. So we're clearly improving survival in that group of patients with early stage lung cancer that are the molecularly driven cancers where oral therapy works. So, and then we are also finding that when we give immune therapy in early stage lung cancer, that can improve survival. So when we give a combination of chemotherapy and immune therapy before surgery in non-small cell lung cancer, and when we give immune therapy with chemotherapy and radiation for small cell lung cancer, we're improving both progression-free survival and overall survival. In the recent years, what some of the hottest results are, and most recent results, are identifying more early stage lung cancer and improving outcomes with molecular therapy for early stage lung cancers and immunotherapy for early stage lung cancers. So we hope that this will increase the cure rate for all forms of lung cancer.
Two follow-up questions really quickly. So on screening, a lot of the challenge is the current criteria for a person to be screened is tied to a history of smoking. And I'm just wondering, what do you see on the horizon, or what can we as an advocacy group do to start trying to broaden the parameters around, high risk for lung cancer screening, being able to get a lung cancer screening?
Mostly now, smoking is much more common in lower socioeconomic groups. And those are also the groups that are where it's more difficult to advocate with them, educate them, and get them to get the screening. So for numerous reasons, both getting the information out, making it affordable, and giving access. And I think that that's some of the most important work that Lung Cancer Initiative is working on now, particularly to try to get out into rural communities, lower socioeconomic communities, and meet people where they are and get them access to effective screening that can improve outcomes.
You spoke last November, and we're talking about a lot of the research that is now happening in small cell, which I don't believe we've seen in a long time. So I don't know if you have any additional comments that you could make about that and some of the, I guess, new breakthroughs in small cell, if that, or maybe we're on the cusp of some things with small cell.
Right. So our big oncology meeting is American Society of Clinical Oncology. Over the last many years, it's been held in Chicago in the first weekend in June. And one of the most important clinical trial results that were reported was a small cell lung cancer trial. And in that trial, people with early stage small cell lung cancer either received chemoradiotherapy by itself, so a combination of radiation and the typical chemotherapy given for small cell, with or without the immune therapy called durvalumab. Okay. And the group of patients who received the chemotherapy plus the immune therapy had significantly better outcomes for progression-free survival and overall survival. So this established a new standard of care. So that's really one of the most exciting new results that we have now, and that was in small cell, which is a lung cancer that has lagged behind our other lung cancer types. It has not had many breakthroughs as in non-small cell lung cancer. So it was exciting to see a real breakthrough, a really change in the standard of care for small cell lung cancer.
So what are some of the things that we're doing here at Lung Cancer Initiative that you believe are really helping here locally with the institutions that we partner with and their lung cancer research programs?
So I think that bringing along the next generation of advocates and researchers is really important. It's difficult getting a start in academic medicine, getting that first grant, getting a positive result from a grant application, being able to take some idea and start to develop it. And I think giving people that chance at the fellow or early faculty level, as we do in our fellows grants, has given young investigators both the chance to get their career going and giving them encouragement. It's difficult to get that first major grant that kind of lets you have a few years to get some work done. So you're not always just spending all your time writing grant applications. So having that career development grant that we have to give several years of meaningful support, I think is really, really critical. Lung Cancer Initiative has done a great job locally in giving people a start to their career and getting them involved with lung cancer research, committed to lung cancer research, to kind of carry on and be the next generation of researchers that are going to take us to the next level.
Well, at the beginning of this, you used the word hope several times. And so I just want to ask, what makes you hopeful right now for the field of lung cancer, for people impacted by lung cancer? What makes you hopeful?
Well, I think, as we talked about earlier, the broad-based advocacy with a number of different groups around the country advocating for lung cancer research, advocating for lung cancer patients and their families, creating a community that supports lung cancer, both at the personal level and at the research level, is critical. And that has really come around over the last 10 or 20 years. The basic science is moving forward rapidly. And because of the progress that's been made in lung cancer, many of the best and the brightest are coming into lung cancer now. So many of the really top young minds in both basic research and clinical research are choosing to go into lung cancer, where it wasn't nearly as much, say 20 or 25 years ago. So that has been a big step forward. When I go to meetings, I'm just taken aback by the quality and the energy of the people that are choosing to go into lung cancer research now. What is really impressive is how we are better and better understanding the body's own immune system to be able to leverage the vulnerabilities of the cancer, where the cancer has different characteristics that the immune system may recognize as being abnormal. And not just in lung cancer, but in a number of different cancers, we're really starting to understand how we can make the cancer more vulnerable to the immune therapy, activate the immune system, and maintain the immune system active against the lung cancer. That can really improve cure rates, we know now, and really give prolonged survival, even in advanced cancer. So I think those advances in understanding the immune system, being able to apply it to clinical research and then into standard of care in the clinic, has me really excited and optimistic about the future.
Thank you so much, Dr. Reddy, for your time today on this World Lung Cancer Day. And also thank you for your leadership at Lung Cancer Initiative and all that you do in the field of lung cancer research and in caring for your patients. We're so grateful for you and happy to spend some time with you today. Thank you.